All right, so this says an experimental plant has an unusual growth pattern. The table shows the total height of this plant after X days. You're to write the equation in the form y is equal to a times b to the x. That represents its growth pattern. And you're also to determine the height of the plant on the fifth day. All right, so here we go. Let's look at the table that represents the growth pattern. So here we have our table. And the first day, notice the height was, at the start, the height was 1 inch. Then after day 2, it was 4 inches. Then that became 16 on the second day, 64 on the third day, 256 on the fourth day. All right. So generally, when we look at tables, we want to identify the values that represent the A and B in our function. Remember, A is the initial value and B is the growth factor. So when we look at this table, that pair of coordinates 0, 1 is going to represent our initial value. So there we have it. Our initial value is A. A is equal to 1. And then we want to check out the growth pattern. So how are the output values on this function changing, or in this table of growth pattern changing? So we're going from 1 to 4, 4 to 16, 16 to 64. What are we multiplying by? What is the constant growth factor? And if we look at those numbers carefully, 1 times what make 4? That's 4. 4 times what makes 16? That's 4. So our constant growth factor in this case is going to be equal to 4. So what we know so far is that the A in this function, A is equal to 1. And we also know that B is equal to 4. No, that would therefore mean that the equation that represents this growth pattern for this plant would be 1 times 4 to the x. Okay, now we were asked a specific question to say what was the height of the plant on the fifth day. So we're going to use this equation to find the height of the plant on the fifth day, which means we need to replace the x with 5, which means our equation will now be y is equal to 1 times 4 to the fifth power. And we know that our exponents represent repeated multiplication. So that is going to be y is equal to 1 times 4 multiplied by itself 5 times. And when that is multiplied out, we're going to end up getting 1,024. So it means on the fifth day, the plant was 1,024 inches tall. That is crazy. 1,424 inches tall. Whoa. All right.